bullet journaling. That's what's going to get the feature today. Wow is all I can say. I've never remembered so much in my entire life, and that's just yesterday. So for those of you who don't know, bullet journal is a method of recording what you've done and what you need to do, and it's for forgetful sods like me. And I started learning this practice a month ago, when a pal of mine, Adam Metham, suggested that I look at it to help get all my ducks in a row, and because I'm working on so many different things at the moment, and it saves my head. It would hopefully save my head getting in a clutter and me forgetting things. I don't think it's totally foolproof, but certainly not in the early stages. But I have remembered so much from yesterday just by writing tiny little trigger notes about what happened yesterday, and then you get to transfer those to like a future to-do list. And like a task list for the month. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you about the detail of it. You can look at it yourself if you go to bulletjournal.com, or you can go to you just Google it. Google bullet journal, and well, it all sets itself out for you. There's a book that helps you write it. Helps you create your own bullet journal. It talks you through the practicalities and how it all works, and so on and so forth. But anyway, so for that reason, this post is going to be much longer, because what I've done is I've used this as kind of a test to see how it works in real life. And it's the first day. I'm going to start it properly on the 1st of June. Start of a new month and all the rest of it. Psychologically, that seems like the best thing to do. But I've started trialling it on these sort of end days of May, and this is a result of it. I'm not going to make a habit of having these posts this long. But for now, it's cool. I'm enjoying it. So it's not until you write everything down that you realise quite how much you actually did. I decided yesterday, with a bit of help from Mum, what I'd get her for her birthday. So that's really nice. Her birthday is next week. She will be 75 years old, and naturally I love her very much. There's a bit of a standing joke about the things that we get each other for our birthdays and Christmas, and typically we will go out and buy our own presents, or at least Mum will go out and buy her own present, and I will then wrap it and give it to her, and she will pretend to be all surprised. It's a bit of a standing joke in the family. Some people can't get their head around it, but I kind of love that. It's something that we've done for a while, but this time it's not going to be like that. I'll get her something that I know she wants, but she's not going to be quite sure that she's getting it. But anyway, that's that. We'll try and make it as special as we can for her. We sold 8 pre-order copies of Glade Runner in the first 24 hours yesterday, and that's without spending a penny on advertising. That's a pretty impressive number, actually, without spending money on advertising for a relatively unknown book, and obviously for a brand new bookshop. So delighted with that. That's the family sorted for birthday and Christmas at the very least. I think we're something like 5 days or 6 days in the caravan now. It'll actually be a shame when we go back to the house, to be fair. Although last time, when we transitioned back from the tent to the house, I slept for about a year. Okay, maybe not, but it was weird how incredibly comfortable a real bed is when you haven't slept in one for a while. Committing to the woodland project has filled me with so many ideas as to who can be helped by opening up the woods themselves and leaving them to nature. I'm going to add a page to the British Wildlife Tales and Shukbop website, kind of just setting out the concept and how anyone that supports either business, including Find Your Adventure, will be contributing to better access to woodland and in turn their perpetual protection. I know the Woodland Trust do this too, but I think there's room for a little extra woodland in the world, don't you? I'm just going to make a note of that. Add, whoops. Page to website. And that's bullet journaling in practice. So we got some fabrics yesterday from Aldi, the little squares of fabric. I think there's a proper name, but they're in little bundles and they're all Harry Potter branded, and they have some excellent designs, and I hope that Hope will make something cool out of them. She's already talking about a reversible top or skirt or some sort of thing, and anyway, watch as I step back now and let Linda step in on that. Actually, having a nanny who was once a seamstress could be an actual result here. Have you bought any of these little fabric parcels to get creative with? It just seems like a brilliant idea. It's lovely to have kind of a blank canvas, really, to create stuff with. I had a count up yesterday, and Shukbop is currently at 20 titles. I was aiming for about 50 by October, so the progress is somewhere near where I'm aiming. But having said all that, I've realised that adding a deadline to bigger projects and aims is not really my thing. Committing to achieve them is perfectly sufficient for me, and I know I'll get them done. And I won't stress or panic if I haven't managed to do them in time. If I haven't set a target. So that's out the window. I mean, it's different with smaller projects like books for other people, because we need to have a timeline. That's the first yawn. I've done well. That was 8 minutes. That's the first timeline. The first timeline. No. Rewind a bit. Regroup. So committing to achieving the sort of bigger projects and actually starting them and getting them going is enough. I know they'll get done. So yeah, the lack of pressure of a deadline just makes sense to me. I'm much more happy with that kind of arrangement. I had a lovely video call with Stacey yesterday, Stacey Bax. It's the first time we've actually spoken since working with her as an author for Stour Valley Publishing. She's an absolute delight to work with. She really gets stuck into her book, and even so far as laying them out and doing corrective edits. And anyway, we've been working through Messenger for so long now. It was really, really nice to see her face and have a proper chat with her, even if she was in the garden and I was stuck in the caravan come office. Here's to many more books, Stacey. I'm absolutely stoked to work with you, mate. The books are brilliant. The illustrations are fab, and just over in all. I'm delighted. We got out on a whole family walk yesterday too. It was lovely, really nice. We bumped into Dave Hammond. Had a little chat with him. He was out with his tribe. We rested by the kids' favourite tree while they climbed it, and I let Dash walk free without me getting holding on to his lead for a short while as we headed home. Yeah, he was, oh sorry, he was, he's a little bit of a bugger. He runs off and just goes and pleases himself really, and he doesn't come back again. He would make his way back home, but the kids hate it, and they make it worse because the minute he breaks free of his lead or finds himself free to go, he just sort of runs off, and they scream because they think he isn't going to come back. And it's a bit of a bugger really, because actually the scream and the panic and all that stuff, it makes it worse. It makes him less likely to want to come back. So anyway, I'm going to work on that, I think, on my own. I'm going to take the dog out. I shouldn't call him the dog, should I? Dash. I should take Dash out on my own across the fields and let him off and just sit down, and hopefully he'll come back to me or go home if he dashes off. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. If any of you got any tips about how to gradually train a dog that's an older dog, not an older dog, but a 4-year-old dog. Oh yeah, it'll be 4 next month. That'd be great. Right. I put in the new stock orders for Shookbop, and hopefully they'll arrive next week, just in time for me to have to think about relocating them to the new HQ. I guess I should have thought that through a bit. That brings me nicely though to the fact that my lovely pal Marie Parkinson has done a colour and hygge. I think that's how you pronounce it. Hygge, Hygge. Google it. I ain't explaining it. Consultation for me for the new property, new premises. So essentially, what that does, it just gives you little suggestions about laying out the premises and how to light it and things like that, which will just help with the whole feel of the premises, to make it a nice place to be and a good place for productivity, and also a nice place to relax as well. So I'm looking forward to putting in those putting into practice those little pointers. She said that she's never done this before, but it certainly didn't show in the report. The report was really, really, really well laid out. I could take it on board, being relatively ignorant of these things. I realise though how in tune with some of these things I already was, so that's quite a nice thing. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting that in place. I can't wait. I'm waiting on an email with the lease for the premises. So the minute I get that, I'm going to be on it, reading it, signing it, sending it back, because I just want to get going on that now. I'm not impatient for it. I'm just really, really excited. So that's it. So we're 14 minutes in. I told you that the bullet journal was good for remembering every detail. And that's about a quarter of what I wrote yesterday. Don't worry though, it's only for today. I just wanted to see how much it helped me remember. Tomorrow's post will be back to normal. I will finish though with 3 things that I'm really grateful for from yesterday. And I do this practically in every post, but not in any specific or conscious or deliberate way. And I don't gather it. But Marie recommended it, and I know it has a huge beneficial effect on my own well-being and psyche. So here they are. The 3 things I'm grateful for that I want to talk about very, very briefly are for my mummy being well, and for the lockdown easing so that she can get back into enjoying company once more, because it will be much more beneficial than her being cooped up. I know it's important. I know that it's a really, really vital thing to keep the movement of people down to an absolute minimum and to keep distancing. But it's going to be so beneficial to her having people round to visit her in her own space. Up to 6 in a garden is a pretty good thing to have. Her to look forward to. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my own health and well-being. I've been well now for quite a long while. No illnesses. My head's in a good place. I'm absolutely stoked with that. So very, very grateful for that. And I'm also grateful for the well-being of my family and friends, because really, beyond all that, nothing really matters as long as everyone is healthy. And by healthy, I mean healthy in the whole sense of the word. From a mindfulness and a mental well-being round to the physical side of things as well. As long as that's the case, we haven't got anything to worry about, really, have we? So they're fairly common gratitudes, aren't they? And they're true to many of you too. But what are you grateful for today? I'll let you think on that for a bit. Big love, everyone, and we'll catch you tomorrow.